I'm Ed Kelley, editor of the Oklahoman. Most members of Oklahoma's congressional delegation have some explaining to do. As in, how can they rail against the big stimulus bill, but then turn right back around and request tens of millions of dollars in special projects back home? My colleague Chris Castile, who broke the story, points out that 5 of the 7 members in our delegation saw to it that more than $66 million in so-called earmarks in a bill passed by the House got money for all kinds of stuff, including a museum and some buses. It'd be easy to justify the worth of each of these projects that were included in the $410 billion spending package to fund the government for the rest of this fiscal year. But the worth of the projects is not the issue here. Instead, it's this. How can these folks in our delegation criticize the size of government when they push through these earmarked projects? Earmarks are outside the normal appropriations process. Oklahoma's share of 77 earmarks in the House bill totals $68 million. Sadly, $68 million is not even a rounding error in Washington. The 5 Republicans who sought earmark projects are Senator Jim Inhofe and House members John Sullivan, Frank Lucas, Tom Cole, and Mary Fallon. Before inserting the earmarks into the House bill, all 5 of them criticized the $787 billion stimulus package richly pushed through Congress at the behest of President Obama. Look, earmarks are a way of life in Washington, in which members of Congress bring the bacon to the folks back home. And some of the time, the earmarks are for good causes. But I think most Oklahomans realize the representatives in Washington shouldn't be criticizing more spending, then turning around to layer on more spending. It may be good politics, but it's also politics as usual.